One of the biggest lies I used to tell myself, but I thought was the truth when I was single before I got married, was men are intimidated by me. I thought because I had a house, a car, been driving BMW since I was 24 years old, I thought that because I made a lot of money, that men just couldn't handle it, they were intimidated, and they were turned off because I was doing better than them. That is one of the biggest lies, or the things that we think, when really the problem is us. If you find yourself saying, well, men are just intimidated by me, I make too much money, they don't like that I'm just direct and I stand up for myself. If you keep getting that kind of results from men, most likely it's not because they're intimidated, they just don't like you. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean or to be like nasty, but that was what I was going through. They thought I was attractive, they liked being around me, but they just weren't into me because the way that I exuded my ego. A lot of women don't realize when they make money and they have all these accomplishments, the ego drives the conversation. It drives your energy, how you carry yourself, how you interact with men, where your ego is like, well, because you're not on my level, da 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 da. And nobody wants to be treated like that, man or woman. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Girl with the pink dress on Pop the Balloon. A lot of people were like, oh, I like her personality. She seems funny. She seems cool. She even said she was a sweetheart. And all those things can be true. That does not mean that's what's attractive to a man. Ladies, the things that we like about ourselves and the things that we like about our homegirls does not mean that men find that attractive or want that to be what they want in a relationship. And I'm not saying change who you are to appease a man, but if you're not getting the results that you want in the dating sphere and you want to be married, you have to check how you talk to people, how you treat people, the energy you have. Normally it stems from childhood. Normally it stems from being an overachiever. It stems from being somebody that's very type A. It stems from being somebody that is a perfectionist. Normally, when people are like that to themselves, they're hyper critical of other people. So if you tend to have this personality trait where you're very defensive, you're standoffish, you have your guard up 24/7, 365, and you don't know how to let your hair down and have fun and speak to people lightly, gracefully, then you could probably have this problem. So just do some self-reflection, sis. It might not be because he's intimidated. He might just not like you.
And this shit real life. I can really die at any time. I just be hating.
Listen, I love Kendrick Lamar. I love the pop-up. I think he's one of the top artists of this generation, period. Hate the selection. It's in New Orleans. You don't get Lil Wayne. That's what we doing?
Yeah.
Listen, you don't get Lil Wayne in New Orleans for the
Hot
Super Bowl.
Boys.
Not just Hot Boys, Cash Money, all the songs Lil Wayne's done, whether it's Blink 182, there's no reason why Lil Wayne should not be performing in the Super Bowl. There's one person who's stopping this. I know, it's not really a secret. Lil Wayne had a problem with somebody before who's kind of part of the organization running it. This is payback. Who's that? Who's Lil Wayne artist? Drake.
Yeah,
this
hating at this age is crazy.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
bro. It's ridiculous. Like Mike, this some hip hop shit that you probably don't know what's going on. To be totally honest with you, so we'll school you behind the scenes. Lil Wayne not to be performing in New Orleans for the Super Bowl is egregious. And it gotta stop. It gotta stop. Mike Mills will tell you what's going on later. It gotta stop, bro. It gotta stop, man.
Yeah, and I'm doubling down on that. Hating at this age is crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
I love Lil Wayne.
It's wild, bro.
Man. I work with Lil Wayne. I love him. Great dude.
And this has nothing towards Kendrick. If anybody deserved it, Kendrick deserves it. But there's some backstory shit going on.
Yeah.
While Lil Wayne is not performing the Super Bowl.
All good points.
Right, I can dig it.
Yeah, that's sad. That's.
You see there's passion and.
Single man, please review yourself. Hope it's cool. Yes.
Oh, sorry. Don't cry.
Nah,
We have different ladies that pop their balloon for you, meaning that they don't like one thing about you, which we get to find out. Let's hear from this lady here. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Come outside. We should cover up the space.
These things poverty.
Should go to this mama. Wow. What? Okay, pass the mic to mama.
Okay.
Mommy. Okay. Why do you pop the balloon for this handsome man?
Doesn't really have a problem though, but just the height.
If this man don't pop a balloon for you, would you have taken her, sir?
She's okay, but she's not pregnant, that's all.
Fine man, let's go to the next lady. This is the other lady. You said you wanted to say something. Are you good? Stand stay close to me, please. Higher down.
Hello, I'm Judith, and on Instagram I'm Judith David.
Sir?
Sorry, the woman's
We can't hear you. Can you hear me,
Sorry,
sir?
the woman's You just you look like a man.
Oh my God. 360 for the camera, please.
Okay.
What the be this? What the be this?
I even get an ashpass.
Let's go. You said we should go where, sir?
The older woman.
To the older woman.
Nothing I did, nothing I tried, nothing I smoked, nothing I snorted, nothing I drank, no man I did, no one did me, nothing did me any good. Oh Lord, even that the food I put in my mouth wouldn't help me, Lord.
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
Woo!
You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.
Underneath Satan, there are what we call the 5 generals. The 5 generals are the 5 demons that are immediately hierarchically underneath Satan, and they are the ones who execute his plans. In some cases, they call it the table, because it's basically they get to divide up certain things. The first demon under him is Baal.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic here with another video. This is a continuation of the video that I did yesterday. Had some technical difficulties throughout it, but it was some good information throughout it as well. If you with me, throw ahead and you can hear me. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear me. All right. What's good in Detroit? I don't know. I mean, I live. It's like, I'm in the world, but I'm not of the world. I just try to, take care of my family, run my business, stay busy with that. Because if I'm able to stay busy in doing that, I'm able to succeed. So I just kind of keep it low to the chest and make it through. As far as like what I see a lot of different weird shit play out throughout different modalities here and there, but it's like almost to a point of what can I specifically do about it besides do what I'm about to do today. So yeah, man, I just be, staying to myself, man. As they say, I be staying out the way. You know what I'm saying? What you be on, bro? Staying out the way. Let these motherfuckers have it. Since I got more or less a lot of information to discuss, hey guys, let me know when y'all leave, okay? 7 in the order. Let me know when y'all leave, okay? Okay. And make sure, huh? Can we play a game so mom gets here? Y'all can just wait. She said she'll be here in 30 minutes, like 20 minutes ago. So yeah, man. Today I want to continue because I wanted to talk about this yesterday, but after 3 hours, I could have went on longer, but I just didn't want to I just like one day I'm gonna do like a 6 hour joint, 8 hour joint, but I just gotta warm myself up to it. Cause I was doing the 2 hour joints and now I push myself to 3 hours. So it's more like exercise, you know what I'm saying? The next joint, not this video, hopefully, maybe, but I want to get into the 4 hour joints. I just think it's fun because YouTube, there's no limit on how long your live stream could be. If you wanted to talk for 24 hours on a live stream, you could upload a video every minute if you wanted to. So when people have channels and they don't post, it's almost like, why not? Because there's so much information out there. And if a person just so happened to click on your video, that's good. You know what I'm saying? When you post a video, you ain't never forcing nobody to watch it. But if people like your content, shit, if I look at it like a channel, like a TV channel. Like when I was watching TV, I didn't watch every channel on TV. I had 4 or 5 of my favorite channels that I watched every day. You know what I'm saying? One's in the chat if that makes sense. Right? So post content. It don't even fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Because people cannot watch it, people can watch it. But with all of that being said, I think that this is a segue into what I ultimately want to talk about, which is basically differentiating between physical impulse and miracle impulse. Right? Most people don't know that they're a walking miracle. But what does glamour do? Glamour distorts the real miracle that's taking place at every moment of your life. Wanting to live in a better house, wanting to get a better degree, wanting to get a better man, a woman, right? It removes, it's physical impulses, but there are also miracle impulses. And at first, I know when I first laid out the concept of a miracle impulse is gonna be something that's just like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? Right? What is this nigga talking about? Like, what does this have to do with anything? Right? But if you really think about it, if you don't realize that miracles are normal, if you don't realize that miracles is normal, what would you absolutely normalize? Give me one moment. If miracles aren't normal, then that means something else is normal. That means that you must work. Listen, this system is so crazy. This world is so crazy. If you don't realize that miracles are normal. So I'm referring to A Course in Miracles. This is page 49 of page 2000. Okay, it's a big book. It's on Everand. Everand is like $6 a month. Maybe they up the price. Who knows? It's worth it. Because you're not gonna buy these books. Let's keep it a buck 1,000. You're not gonna buy all of these books, but you do have access to this book for a monthly subscription. And if you do like to read, I teach my children from Everand. You know what I mean? There's workbooks and all types of stuff that I can print out at the office and do all types of shit. It's worth its weight in gold. I should be a fucking ad spokesman for them. But anyways, in A Course in Miracles, it's a very profound, channeled level of information. And what I'm sharing is a revelation for me because, spirit is real and I'm a real person. Spirit is real and I'm a real person, meaning that I have ups and downs. I have highs and lows. Like I'm just a normal, real person. So sometimes I need things. Sometimes I need to grow. Sometimes I need to progress. Sometimes things ain't going the way that I want them to go. And from that point, I have to figure shit out. And utilizing and understanding A Course in Miracles, listening to the audiobook as I go to sleep, I've been retraining my brain and realizing and before I was conscious, I've been reading A Course in Miracles. I've been reading A Course in Miracles for a long time, but for me, it is another Bible. The more that you grow mentally, the more that you grow spiritually, the more that you begin to understand things. One of the major tenets of this conversation is just simply this. When you stop learning, you can't grow. When you're not growing, you essentially dead. So to be spiritually in alignment, it requires us to continuously learn. And my channel, I pride myself in learning and teaching at the same time. Growing and developing at the same time as everybody around me. Because one of the major tenets of spiritual knowledge and spiritual truth is that we are all created equal at a spiritual level. The physical is not real. The physical is just a part of the matrix, it's a part of the physical reality. But the spiritual reality creates the physical reality. At a spiritual level, we are all the same. So when we have a level of glamour where I have emotions tied into external desires, I want to win the game, I want to make a lot of money, I want to have the girl, I want to have the nice house, I want to go on a vacation, I want to do the thing. Well, this is a misperception that's rigidly in place. You couldn't talk a person out of what they want. One's in the chat, if you know somebody or you are that somebody, shout out to Aaliyah, where you can't change their mind even if you making sense. Do you know somebody? One's in the chat, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. You know somebody, you making perfect sense to them, and they looking at you like, whatever. Maybe you are that somebody, like you can't change their mind whatsoever. They just they just fixated on what they think and you can't change their mind. That's a misperception that's rigidly in place. It's a problem though when it comes to what we desire and what we wish to acquire in life. It's really easy. And the difference is perception and knowledge, right? Perception is not real. The only thing that's real is knowledge. It's two people that could build your house. A person that perceives it or a person that have the knowledge to build it. Which one would you want to build your house? A person that has a perception of building it or the person that have the knowledge of building it? So if we don't have the knowledge, guess what we have to do every single day? Learn. But we have a conscious mind, so we can't even learn everything. We got to teach at the same time. So learning and teaching becomes the natural process for the building blocks of knowledge. However, it's hard to reach our people when the misperceptions are rigidly in place. So I'm going to go through this text and then I'm going to have like a picture or a song lyric or some news that goes along with the text to just kind of elaborate on just my thought space in reference to the text. So it's just not me just reading, it's just more of a full presentation, a 5-dimensional expose on real energy. Because if we can understand and understand the text, we can see the problem with everything. What would create a problem? A misperception that's rigidly in place, right? So what is a distortion? A distortion is something that you twist in different ways. Completely twisted, right? Keith Song had a song, Keith Sweat, I said Keith Song. Keith Sweat had a song called Twisted, right? Some of y'all singing it. I would play it if they wouldn't give me a copyright strike. But anyways, to be twisted is not straight. To be twisted is not in order. To be twisted is something completely different. It's like how you look at your life, how you look at how things is going to play out for you is distorted, it's twisted. It's not right. Because reality is, if you were to straighten, you would know without a shadow of a doubt everything that you are and everything that could be. Not because you're just, just this magical being, that farts out rainbows, but because you are able to gain knowledge. Once you are able to gain knowledge, you're able to exude that knowledge and express that knowledge to the collective, help the collective grow as you grow with the collective, understanding that we must do this thing completely. If LeBron James is successful and me and you can't pay our rent, what is LeBron James' success going to do with us? It have nothing to do with us. So that shows that the success that people have, it don't really matter anyways. The success that you see on TV, the success that you see on the screen, if anything, knowledge is a mode of sharing and helping. There are things that everybody knows that watch this video that they could utilize to help somebody else. Some people might feel like I can't help nobody because I ain't getting nothing in return, which is fair. But once again, we don't understand who we are working for. I promise you, if you figure out who you are working for, actually, you will never need money. These highlights have been journaled. I studied this. I got deep into my soul. I needed to get into my soul because I had to figure out who I was working for. See, when you figure out who you was working for, then you're going to get paid. Right? If I work for you, I do a good job for you. What's the natural order? You going to pay me. But who are you actually working for? All actions which stem from reverse thinking. What is reverse thinking? Reverse thinking is thinking that miracles are something that's supposed to happen rarely. Ones in the chat, help me out, guys. A miracle is a rare thing, right? That's what make it a miracle, right? It's like once in a lifetime miracle. I figured out who my dad was. That's a miracle, right? I just hit the lottery. That's a miracle. So this miracle is a rare occurrence. Then that means that every other normal occurrence, what is it? The opposite of a miracle, right? It's some shit where you gotta, drag your knuckles up against the cement. It's some shit where you gotta suffer. It's some shit where life is hard. It's some shit where you hate this job. It's some shit where you can't find nobody. You can't, miracles are far and few to come far and few between. That is reverse thinking. Reverse thinking are literally the behavioral expressions of those who know not what they do. Puff Daddy was like, "We forgive you, for you know not what you do." That's from Luke chapter 23, verse 34. Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." And this is the vast majority of people in our communities, in our families, in our societies that live through reverse thinking. They love to think outside of the fact that every moment of your life is a miracle. Every second, every moment, every millisecond is a miracle. When the miracle stops, your heart stops beating. That's when the miracle stops. Shout out to you. Peace to the Moors, Islam. Astrology Explained, available on ColumbianExchange.com. All actions which stem from reverse thinking are literally the behavioral expressions from those who do not know what they do. Let's get into this. A rigid orientation can be extremely reliable, even if it's upside down. what is this actually talking about? This is when you can live your life completely outside of God, completely outside of your divinity, completely outside of the miracle, and it be extremely reliable. Every day you go to that job, they kick your ass. Every day you deal with this person that you attracted in your lower self without activating your root chakra. You was dealing with somebody because you was lonely. They ain't never did no psychological observation. They just existed the same way you existing, but you trying to make a change. And you say, what if we meditate together? What if we do all of this different shit together? And they say, no, you know what? Go to hell. A rigid orientation can be extremely reliable, even if it is upside down. You can live in a society, you can live in a world, you can live in a relationship, you can be at a job, you can do everything, and it be extremely reliable, extremely dependable. One's in the chat, if you ever been in a toxic relationship, but the quality of that toxic relationship was that it was extremely reliable. It was always there, always toxic, but always there. But then you should also understand that when you're in a relationship that's healthy, that's extremely reliable too. In fact, the more consistently upside down it is, the more reliable it is. So once again, sending your kids to school, that's a reliable system. One's in the chat, that's reliable as hell. You're going to send your kids to school and you're going to cross your fingers. That's reliable. The teacher's going to get paid $30,000 a year to teach your badass kids. Reliable. Niggas work at McDonald's. Niggas do all types of shit, and you niggas work at factories. Do the same thing for 12-hour shifts on their feet, consistently upside down, but it's even more reliable the more you think about it. It makes me think about the hangman. The hangman reminds you that sometimes you have to put everything on hold before you can take the next step, or the universe will do it on your behalf. You may have heard the saying, what got you here won't get you there. And if you really think about it, when life is disordered, when life is toxic, that's God. When life is showing you that things ain't working out, that's actually the proof of God. See, most people think that the proof of God is that you living successful and you got everything happening good for you, which may be true, but you got to understand, what did that person have to go through? What did that person have to go through to get to the good? This is the part most people just conveniently dismiss. The moment you see somebody doing something, you just want it, and you don't want what it takes to get what he got or what she got. So even though you could fake the funk and buy some moissanite chains off of Amazon for $20, that still don't make it real. That still don't make it valid. We could bear witness to every education, every entertainment, every athletic. Did y'all ever notice that the education and the athletic is in the same building? You know, all of these particular systems and institutions will not save you. So even though you can go to school, you can play sports, you could perform on stage, that's never going to save you at the deep esoteric levels. However, there's only one thing that can save you, and it is the realization of what you are, who you are, and even deeper, the function of the soul. See, when you understand the function of the soul, everything becomes a miracle. And you could be looking at your life right now like, how the fuck am I going to pay these bills? One's in the chat if you could resonate with that statement that I just made. How the hell am I going to pay the bills? Y'all niggas going to hit ones in the chat for something. Maybe not this. Hey, if y'all can pay y'all bills comfortably, man, can y'all shoot me a cash app? It's on the screen. $ Hood Mystic 38. Couple dollars. You could be looking at your relationship right now like, I don't know how the fuck we gonna raise these kids. I don't know how I'm gonna make it. I got shit coming at me from different, all types of angles. I don't know how the fuck I'm going to make it. When you think about all the shit that you got to go through, all the shit that you got to swim through, it don't make sense how you ever going to make it through it. See, that's a reality. And we should be able to speak to that. We should be able to heal that. Not rub your ass and talk that fly shit just to get you to buy some shit at the end of the day. The reality is this: if you don't realize that your soul has a function, then you're going to be looking at this shit like, how am I going to pay these fucking bills? That's the basic context of a miracle. Oh my God, I can be able to pay these bills. That's a fucking miracle. I got enough money to pay my bills and go on a vacation. Get some head on the island. That's a miracle. How though? How do you bring that situation about? Do I have to buy into another person's program? Do I have to go on a retreat? Do I have to join a fucking Patreon? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck do I got to do to incur miracles in my life? You need to figure it out within yourself, and you need to understand your mental. Understand how your mental does what? Create fantasies. However, validity is still the ultimate goal, which reliability can only serve. Hostility, triumph, vengeance, self-debasement, and all kinds of expression are a lack of love, often very clearly seen in the fantasies which accompany them. When we say we got a problem or we can't handle this and I'm having trouble with my bills, that's a fantasy, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you like, Hood, no the fuck it ain't no fantasy, that's real. I really got fucking financial difficulties out this bitch. That's some real shit. And I get it. Huh? All right, have fun. See y'all in a couple of days. You really gonna have to figure that part out. So what's beef? Right? Hostility. When you like, you gotta examine this because this is spiritual people. This is some real shit. Let's sit down. Let's take a drink of water. Let's calm our nervous system. Let's refocus. Let's tap in. Let's figure this shit out. You really mad at somebody, ain't you? Who you got beef with, right? Who, like, yo, baby, get it out. Just say it. You know, put it in the chat. Put his initials in the chat. Put her initials in the chat. Identify that you hold hostility towards somebody. Because if you don't identify it, you know, it goes under the radar. It's one of the simplest shit. A nigga could have punched you in the motherfucking mouth, sucker punched you in front of the girl, and the girl laughed at you like, you ain't gonna hit him back, and you like, I don't know how to fight. And everybody laughed at you, and you hate this nigga right now. Put his initials in the chat. Because this is going to, the hatred, the hostility, the anger, the mind control that have you hate your brother, hate your sister, disrupts your cosmic flow. Hate that motherfucker all you want, but let it go. See, once again, you could be in the upside down world. The upside down world say it's normal to beef. Kendrick Lamar and Drake, they beefed. Future, he don't like it's so normal, right? It's so normal that we could then interpolate it into our relationships, into our family members. A random person did some shit to you, did something to your cousin. You hate him. All of this is hostility, and all of this is the reality that it blocks you from recognizing the miracle. It's all about beef, right? And what comes with beef? What comes with hostility? This is a deep ritual, right? This can be rappers. This could be sports, right? Sports. Your son, like, if you got a kid, like, we used to cry. If we lost playing football in high school, I would be crying. Like, I'd be really crying. I'd be really sad about that shit. I just get mad. But it just make me want to work out harder and practice harder so I can come back next week and win, right? Triumph. And I'm like, oh, we won. We succeeded. It's all illusion. It's all a rap song by Wu-Tang Clan, right? Triumph. See, these secret societies, they encode these words and these, you know, hidden messages and hidden codes to have you thinking this is just a bop that we dance to. But the reality is it's throwing another layer over your soul. Vengeance, right? Vengeance, the punishment inflicted or the retribution exacted for an injury or a wrong. And this is a word, right? It's like some shit you will see in a movie. Vengeance, yeah, vengeance. Oh, we gotta get vengeance. Oh. But see, vengeance in this world is real life. It's like drill music is steeped in vengeance and vengeance ideologies to attack one another and go at one another. And if you peel back all of the layers, it ain't about nothing. But these children, through the work of the demons, through the work, you know, hard work, right? Really putting in the effort, investing the money, have turned a lot of Black men to nihilistic, angry, violent, obsessed with authenticity. That authenticity means you actually got to be about that life. And the spirit is so thick and so real that sometimes the music even sound good. Like a lot of them King Von songs, they done did 100 million. you know, hundreds of millions of views because it's not really bad tunes. Just like you can just see how the spirit can merge with the human, and the spirit will use the human up until death. And then once the human dies, the spirit just finds another body, another vessel. And we love these people. I'm just saying, if you got family members and stuff like that, you would love these people, like really have a strong relationship with them, grow up with them. But then turns out, damn, they possessed in their own mind. Why? Because you can be wholly reliable and entirely wrong. It is a profound error to imagine that because these fantasies are so frequent or occur so reliably that this implies validity. Remember that while validity implies reliability, the relationship is not reversible. You can be wholly reliable and entirely wrong. This is every person outside of you, sad to say. It's a person that can show up in your life every single day, telling you what store you need to go to, telling you everything that you should or should not do. And that's cool. But at the whole space, you should know. And maybe you don't know. And that's really the work, to get to know that your soul, like imagine having a girlfriend or a boyfriend and then having a soul. You would know the difference when the relationship ends. Because when you have a soul and that relationship is centered in the soul, the relationship don't end. The relationship just continues because your soul is bringing y'all together. Your ego will have you meet a nigga tomorrow on a dating app. Your ego can have you in a relationship at any point. Like, think about your ego. Your ego could consist of, you know, aesthetically pleasing, you know, a soft body or a hard body, however, whatever is the aesthetic, whatever is pleasing. And a girl can always be like, "Ooh, you look so good," or a guy can be like, "Oh, you look so good," and that's reliable. But you get into a relationship with that person that said, "Oh, you look so good," you could be entirely wrong. And the miracle of a relationship could completely escape you because you always lead with your ego. You always lead with the physical. Allowing the spiritual to lead is the work. Allowing the spirit to lead is the effort. What, while a reliable instrument does measure something, what use is it unless you discover what the something is? This course, A Course in Miracle, will concentrate on the validity and let reliability fall naturally into place. The confusion of the miracle impulse with the physical impulse is a major source of perceptual distortion because it induces rather than straighten out. So distortion is a twist. And if you have a perceptual distortion and you don't correct that twist, it's going to stay twisted. So it's going to seem like no matter what you do, you can't make no money. No matter what you do, you can't establish a successful relationship. It'll start to have you hate men, hate women, hate your parents, hate your society, hate your house, hate your apartment, hate your car, hate everything because of a perceptual distortion. If you have a perceptual distortion and you honor that perceptual distortion, it doesn't straighten itself out. It stays twisted. And you can see this with people, like if you like grew up in the ghetto or grew up in the projects and people had addictions to stuff, by them drinking or smoking or whatever, it didn't make them stop doing it. People get drunk and they schedule their next kickback, their next function. People drink every single day. The basic level confusion which underlies the perception of all those who seek happiness with the instruments of this world. Let me read that straight. You know I went to public school. The basic level confusion which underlies the perception of all those who seek happiness with the instruments of this world. So once again, happiness in this context should be specifically referred to as joy. It should be nothing specifically outside of you that brings upon joy, but the spirit and the soul of you. See, this is the function of the soul. It makes you feel a certain type of way. Outside of it, you don't feel the guide, you don't feel guided. You don't feel like, wow, this is a miracle. I made $1,000 today. Awesome. I was scared wasn't going to be able to pay my bills, and then boom, shit start shifting for me. Things start changing. See, for me, I would understand that if things aren't working out, something is going wrong. Something is twisted, and I need to straighten it out. So from there, I'm going to reprogram my subconscious mind with specific information. I'm going to begin to do the subconscious work, the journaling work, the educational work. And on top of that, once I get a specific download, I'm going to share it, and I don't care who listen or who don't listen to it. Most people post shit and they be like, man, it ain't got views. I ain't about to do it. It's not happening the way I want it to happen. If that's your mentality, it's never going to happen the way you're going to happen. It's never going to be what you think it's going to be. You have to learn how to connect through sharing and providing value. How do you know that it's valuable? Because it helps you. Or you could be a doctor. You have a particular medicine. If you got a medicine that can help people, it's on you to share that shit. Because nobody knocks on a doctor's door. Have you ever went to a doctor's office and said, what do y'all do here? Usually the person who have the ailment, they go to the doctor based upon what that doctor specializes in. If a person don't know that you specialize in something because you haven't let people know, hey, I specialize in this, then they won't know. And then another level is, well, I don't specialize in nothing. You need to get up off your ass and start specializing in some shit. Everand is $6 to $10 a month. It's all types of books you can study. Go into the library. They got real books at the library. You can rent books you can buy at the bookstore and start studying some shit. Gain some knowledge. This is what I learned. And keep growing. Your whole life should be about growth and development. Because if you're not growing, you're not developing, you're doing something opposite of that. So the basic level of confusion which underlies the perception of all those who seek happiness with the instruments of the world. Inappropriate physical impulses or misdirected miracle impulses result in conscious guilt. This is the sexual impulsivity that hip hop like really stimulates within the mind. Sometimes it's the neighborhood, sometimes it's the environment, sometimes it's the friend group, But ultimately, the sexual impulsivity, what makes it so evil, what makes it so bad, is that it ruins your ability to perceive your soul. Most people that I talk to, like as far as like a reading goes, and it comes to sex, man, that shit is like you talking to like that's some elementary shit. Yeah, hood, I be giving up this pussy, man. That shit ain't nothing. But I'm trying to find my soul now. Oh man. It's a lesson. I don't know if it's a long lesson or a quick lesson because you might not get it, but I'll try it anyway because I like going through the lesson. Yasad in Hebrew. Yasad is the Sephirah or the node in the Kabbalistic tree of life, right? Yasad is located right there, right in the middle, down below, right? It's the ninth Sephirah, the ninth sphere. Yasad is associated with the sexual organs. One's in the chat if y'all can bear witness to the fact that Yasad is associated with the sexual organs. If Yasad is connected to the sexual organs, right? But Yasad is also the foundation which God has built the world. Then we know the importance of sexual impulsivity and then how it relates back to it removing your ability to be able to perceive the miracle, which is you. Because every time you have sex outside of the miraculous, you experience what is called conscious guilt. Man or women, you know. Because it's an impulse. Whenever you just have sex on a one night, whenever I have sex, listen, man or woman, one's in the chat if you feel dirty as hell after you have sex. We grown off them goddamn dating apps. We for sure getting into that. We for sure getting into that. For sure, for sure. And everybody be trying to link off the goddamn dating app. And if you're not linking off the dating app, what's the percentage of people connecting through dating apps? I seen this wild stat that said like 90% of all dates come through the dating app. You gotta get old though. 79% of Gen Z, they getting burnt out off the dating apps. I wonder why. It ain't like it's wrong or nothing. I seen some wild stat, but anyways. Conscious guilt if expressed and depression if denied. Conscious guilt if expressed and depression if denied. All real pleasure comes from doing God's will. See, nobody is going to tell you this. And you don't have to believe me. You can keep doing whatever the fuck you want to do, however you want to do it, whenever you can do it. But at the end of the day, it's going to come, it's going to leave, and you're going to be looking for it, and you're going to be trying to figure it out, and you're going to be scratching your head and things not going to be right, because real pleasure is not in reference to sexual impulses and getting those sexual impulses met rather. You know that. You know that. But the impulse can be so strong, you just say, fuck it. A lot of people find themselves in that place, and that's a dangerous place to be, where you know it's wrong, but you say, fuck it anyways. Whenever you don't express the Creator's will for your life, your destiny, you are denying your soul. When you deny your soul's purpose, the only thing you can do is project. Because when you see somebody else on their path, you like, that motherfucker, he joined the Illuminati. Motherfuckers got on the internet for 2 weeks to talk shit about Cam Newton. Niggas got on the internet for 6 months to talk shit about Drake. If niggas did not hate Drake, it wouldn't even have been a rap beef. People don't like Kendrick as much as they hate Drake. And that's what people don't understand. Why do they hate Drake? I understand why they hate Drake. This nigga got a fucking cheat code. This nigga playing GTA with all the fucking cheat codes. Got all the mods and shit. Like, what the fuck? That ain't right and exact. But once again, if Drake is the richest nigga in the world and you have a purpose, it don't fucking matter. You got shit that you need to do. But when you project on other people like, oh, this motherfucker ain't shit, this motherfucker, listen, it's going to happen. When you on your path, you got to also understand people going to project on you. When you not on your path, you going to understand that you going to project on others. So when you deny yourself, you will project. But if you correct, you will release yourself. Right? Lead us not into temptation means do not let us deceive ourselves into believing that we can relate in peace to God, to our brothers, with anything external. So once again, how do you relate to somebody? You relate to somebody by doing your chakra work. See, the Lord's Prayer is actually talking about your chakras. So in the Course of Miracles, when it says, lead us not from temptation, that's talking about activating your root chakra. What do I mean by that? When you fully activate your root chakra, what does the root chakra, like just the Google understanding of it is all we need. What does the root chakra symbolize? Stability, security, basic needs, a sense of belonging, survival instinct, right? That's basic stuff. Why would then you would need to be led from temptation and just have basic stuff? Deliver us from evil. See, when you balance your root chakra, you are delivered from evil that the world, or just not having an actual point of intuition, is always going to lead you. Like, if you don't know that you don't know that this is the love of your fucking life, like every time you see this girl, you like, God damn, I'm so fucking honored. And you feel her, like, damn, I'm so fucking honored to be with you. This is what God was making me for. And you like, and then you could go to the difference, like, oh, I hate this nigga. I can't stand my baby dad. Like, you would have a wife and she'd hang out with girls, and the girls be like, man, I can't stand this nigga. Let's cheat on these niggas. What your girl gonna say? Hopefully your girl be like, nah, my nigga, he the truth for real. And the difference between never always striking out, never having what you want to have, and always getting what you want to get, whether you know it or not, is activating your root chakra. And since most people is not going to put you through it, most people is not going to tell you it, And you gonna be like, well, what chakra should I use? Should I do the blue chakra or red, my favorite color, so I'm gonna do the red chakra. It's not choose a chakra. This is real shit. Like if you really sat and thought about it, nigga, yo, stability and security, that's real shit. Yo, basic needs, that's real shit. A sense of belonging, that's real shit. Survival instinct. And think about if you don't have it. And where the fuck is you going to find it from? Hooking up with a nigga from a dating app? How do you find it? How do you do this stuff? A lot of people not going to tell you, yeah, you got to go through each and every chakra. You got to fucking understand, overstand each and every chakra. You got to balance it. You got to do exercises. You got to do root locks. You got to find that shit within yourself. You got to be so centered within yourself that you feel it. You vibrate to it. You understand its function. You feel grounded. And the reality is that sometimes you can be swung off course. You know how you going to be swung off course? Your goddamn baby mama or your baby daddy going to fucking do some shit that's going to piss your ass off. You going to be mad at them and you going to feel validated in that anger because it's normal to be angry. It's normal to have hostility. Your girlfriends is going to say, oh, he did that shit again. Fuck that nigga. I can't stand that nigga. And don't that shit feel good when you just start complaining to a nigga about like just letting it all go? Telling everybody around you how this nigga get on your nerves and they like, yeah, I ain't like his ass. No way. That shit is just cathartic, ain't it? But at the same time, none of that shit is going to save you. Because once again, all that anger that you use to be mad at somebody, it double backs as you dislodging your root chakra and getting decentered. Like the anger that you have for people in your life right now is fucking your whole shit up. It's fucking your whole shit up. Man, my baby mama put me on child support. I don't give a fuck. Man, them motherfuckers just killed my cousin. Hood. I do not give a fuck. You gotta be so centered in this chaos. You gotta be so ordered, so structured. You need to know the difference between a root chakra and a fucking sacral chakra and how it relates to your ass. That is the revelation. That is the apocalypse. You are a light being. You exist on the electromagnetic spectrum as a spiritual being of pure light, pure power. And you saying like, well, damn, I don't know how I'm gonna pay this fucking bill. I don't know how to pay the rent. But did you activate your root chakra? Did you do any root locks? Did you do any meditations? Did you read chapter 2 of Chakra Nova? Did you take notes? Yeah, Hood, I bought your books, man. That shit fire, bro. Bro, that shit fired, my nigga. You did your thing with that book, bro. Chakra Nova, man, shit. I'm gonna get 2 of them. I'm gonna get one for my mama too, nigga. She need to get up on this shit too, bro. For real. That shit hard, bro. Keep doing your thing, man. Nigga, I don't care about that. Did you do the work? Did you activate your fucking root chakra? Did you balance your root chakra or no? Child of God, you are created to create the good, the beautiful, and the holy. Do not lose sight of this. This is a course in miracles. The love of God for a little while must still be expressed through one body to another because the real vision is still so dim. Everybody can use his body best by enlarging man's perception so he can see the real vision. This vision is invisible to the physical eye. An iced out unk is not what we're trying to get to in the spiritual community. We're not trying to ice out our aunt. We're trying to figure out this internally. And the internal understanding of the inner world is a struggle. At night, we go to a place, but it's not clear. In the energy that we build, in the feng shui that we develop through the study of this inner world, the more clear it becomes. Right? Very simple shit. The ultimate purpose of the body is to render itself unnecessary. Why is this the ultimate purpose? Because as long as the body is running the show, it's going to be impulsive. And even if those impulses are not honored, the body is going to feel depressed because it's not linking up with Ray Ray like you used to link up with. The problem with a big dick is that it don't allow you to appreciate no other size dick. So therefore, if you don't got a big dick, you gonna be like, damn, another night. You know what I'm saying? Like I should go out on the streets and find it. You know, like low key, it be in the back of your mind for real. Let me get on this dating site and figure out what's out there on the lowest of keys. Right? Because once you exposed to it, it ain't no turning back. So once again, if the body is making all the decisions, hey, we're gonna have the sister circle tonight. I'm out on the prowl for dick. My fault. I'll be back a little later. Can we reschedule it till tomorrow? And as soon as you trying to plan some shit out with somebody, they get into the space where they just on the prowl looking for pussy and dick. Why? Because the soul is not running shit. The body is running shit. That's why it's hard to get people to get into this spiritual shit for real. Because the dick and pussy is out there. And they already been exposed to it. Their nose is wide open. And they just like, you know, goddamn zombies or dogs on a fucking leash. So to understand and understand the miracle, you have to get outside of the body. The body ain't going to do nothing but try to search for cock and puss. The soul wants something much more deeper, much more fulfilling, but you got to let the body go. Men got a real problem with this. They on the porn 17 times a day. Every waking moment. Don't let your teenage boy go to the bathroom with that phone. He on one website. All you got to do is hit a P in his browser. It's going to fill in the rest for you. What you doing in that bathroom for 20 minutes? I'm in and out. It take me 10 minutes. Why are you in there for 20? Right? Got to let the body go. Learning to do this is the only reason for its creation. Fantasies of any kind are distorted forms of thinking because they always involve a twisted perception into the reality. So, 58 million chains on, medallions, iced out unk is a young boy's fantasy. Being a stripper / good girl, is a young girl's fantasy. But what do we know about fantasies? Fantasies are a twisted perception into unreality. It's not real. And it's people that perpetuate the facts of things not being real as a job. Their whole way of surviving is to show other people a life that's not real so they can aspire to it, so they can crash out. Fantasy is a debased form of vision. And this is why spiritual beings have to understand this. This is why spiritual beings have to understand this, because you will sit back in the realm of fantasy and mistake it for vision. Fantasy is anything that make you not want to get up off your ass. A vision requires you to get up off your ass and put some shit in motion. Fantasy will have you sitting back just waiting and wishing for some shit that ain't never going to happen because you got to make it happen. It all requires action. Once you put the action in, spirit will meet you halfway, but you might have to walk that 50%. You might have to put in the effort and ain't nobody looking. And then one day, boom, because you had a vision. But you didn't just sit on that vision and think about that vision. You put work behind that vision every single day. You've seen it. But it's very hard to differentiate the vision from a fantasy. It's like identical twins. And you got to figure out which one is Mary Kate and which one is Ashley. Because if you're able to differentiate the vision from the fantasy, then you can act towards it. You can even act towards a fantasy. Remember, living in the upside down world, you can figure out a way to get a moissanite chain, right? You can figure out a way to get on online dating and find you a girl, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever with. You can figure it out. You can get a prostitute, pay her some money just to be in a fantasy of having sex. You can act out the fantasy. But would you say getting a prostitute to have sex is a vision from God, nigga? Would you actually say that? But you can also understand that when you are the type of person that fantasy is running your mind, as a man, you acting in such a way that's degrading yourself, debasing yourself. Because of the fantasy that's running the whole show, that's tied into your physical impulses, running the whole show. It take work, it take energy, it take time to differentiate the vision. But once you see the vision and revelation are closely related, while fantasy and projection are more closely associated, because both fantasy and projection attempt to control the external reality according to false internal needs. Think about how wicked that is. Inside of yourself is a level of lying, a level of untruth, and you going with it, you acting it out, and it's never resulting into nothing that you wanted to result in. That is a crazy way to go. So if you do not understand that you have a soul, you're more liable to look at shit from a chaotic, random point of view. Twist reality in any way, and you are perceiving destructively. Reality was lost through usurpation, which in turn produced tyranny, which is basically the demonic stronghold of society that is teaching us, right? The legal seizure and occupation of a throne is a usurpation, which could be the colonialists in this country that still run this country, but they don't tell the lost children of Israel who they truly are, right? They tell the lost children of Israel they from Africa, right? And they not the people of the Bible. They not the children of the Most High. But at the same time, they rely on our culture for its GDP, right? This is the world that we live in. So it has to be some communication to God's children of who they are, outside of, them being lied to and manipulated every time they turn around, being told who they are not every time they turn around. And if it boils down to, you could be from any country, any place, you could be any gender. What they will tell you is you're from here, you are this, just so you could believe it, just so you could not deal with your soul, just so you could develop fantasies. Once again, and I said this earlier, I'm gonna say it one more time. but you must still choose freely to devote yourself to greater restoration. As long as a single slave remains to walk the earth, your release is not complete. Complete restoration of the sonship is the only true goal of the miracle minded. That's why you keep coming back. That's why you'll continue to come back, because you're on a mission of we are on a mission of complete restoration. The main goal is that you begin to understand and overstand who you are. When you understand who you are, the plan is already there. The magic is already there. The miracle is already there. The miracle is the function of the soul. You have a soul. You have a soul that can produce miracles. But you can block that soul through fantasies. The problem with fantasies, no fantasies are true. They are distortions of perception by definition. They are a means of making false associations and obtaining pleasure from them. Men can do this only because he is creative, right? Men are creative, meaning men and women are creative. They can create a world, a life, a persona, a song, a movie, a house, all of these particular things. And what does it do? Does it uplift the kingdom? Does it free slaves from the bondage of ignorance? No. It creates more projection. It creates more usurpation. It creates more, like people are saying, man, I want that too. More fantasy. But although he can perceive false associations, he can never make them real except to himself. It be people like I'll just give an example. LeBron James' wife, right? Famous millionaire, want to start a podcast. Well, she want to connect to people. She want to help people. She want to build an audience. You got to really think of the psychology. Why would you want to build an audience and you are already a millionaire married to LeBron James, your son? Why you even care about random people watching your podcast? Because when you have all the money in the world and you got the house and you got the people, you still isolated and you still need to figure out a way of connecting and healing and helping people, even if you don't know. I pray that LeBron James' wife find her soul because she got influence. What if she got in our podcast talking about the power of God? How many lives would change? So it ain't no, you would think like, man, when I get money or I get into a situation, fuck these people. I'm gonna just go isolate myself. You ain't gonna have more money than LeBron James' wife. I don't care what you do. That nigga been playing basketball forever, endorsements forever. They got money. And she still want to do a podcast. Think about that shit. The nature of sharing and the nature of connecting is not limited to who you are, what you do, how much money you have, none of that. If you have a soul, your nature is to share from person to person, brother to brother, sister to sister. Can you stand in that? Can you listen to what your soul is telling you to do? And keep delivering. I promise you, it will be things indirect that will benefit you. You just have to do what soul tells you to do, not in what you create. Right? Once again, what is it that you're creating? Are you creating distortions? Are you creating the upside down world? Or are you creating miracles? Because a miracle is reliable. What is a miracle? Your heart beating. That is a miracle. But you can also say that your heart beating is a reliable thing. Your whole lymphatic system is a miracle. But when you exercise and cleanse it and drink enough water, it will come back to zero again and it'll be serving you once again. Right? It's a lot of miracles that's taking place within your body right now. That's why you study your chakras. That's why you study your anatomy. That's why you study your hormones. That's why you get on top of your mental health. That's why you get on top of your psychology. This is going to help you way more than trying to be associated and established in the white man's system, in the white man's jobs, in the white man's institution. You got to learn how to revolt and be a part of the revolution, the revelation, the awakening, the apocalypse. You have a role in this thing that your soul is going to illuminate you to. And it's not a fantasy. It's one-on-one conversations. It's starting a YouTube channel and just spreading knowledge, right? Showing people how to make a sandwich. I don't know. You make a good sandwich? Shit, I want to know. But don't sit back and say, man, I could really help people, but I ain't ready yet. That's a fantasy. And no fantasies are true. Fantasies become totally unnecessary as the wholly satisfying nature of reality that becomes apparent to both. So the only thing that satisfies you is nature. And this should be apparent to it should make sense. It should make perfect sense. And if it don't make perfect sense, then just acknowledge your physical impulses are in control. Acknowledge your ego is in control. Because understand your ego is not the thing that's fully in control. Let me show this video in reference to what I'm talking about, and I'll be right back.
One of the biggest lies I used to tell myself, but I thought was the truth when I was single before I got married, was men are intimidated by me. I thought because I had a house, a car, been driving BMW since I was 24 years old, I thought that because I made a lot of money that men just couldn't handle it, they were intimidated, and they were turned off because I was doing better than them. That is one of the biggest lies, or the things that we think, when really the problem is us. If you find yourself saying, well, men are just intimidated by me, I make too much money, they don't like that I'm just direct and I stand up for myself. If you keep getting that kind of results from men, most likely it's not because they're intimidated, they just don't like you. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean or to be like nasty, but that was what I was going through. They thought I was attractive, they liked being around me, but they just weren't into me because the way that I exuded my ego. A lot of women don't realize when they make money and they have all these accomplishments, the ego drives the conversation. It drives your energy, how you carry yourself, how you interact with men, where your ego is like, well, because you're not on my level, da 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 da. And nobody wants to be treated like that, man or woman. I'll give you guys a perfect example. Girl with the pink dress on Pop the Balloon. A lot of people were like, oh, I like her personality. She seems funny. She seems cool. She even said she was a sweetheart. And all those things can be true. That does not mean that's what's attractive to a man. Ladies, the things that we like about ourselves and the things that we like about our homegirls does not mean that men find that attractive or want that to be what they want in a relationship. And I'm not saying change who you are to appease a man, but if you're not getting the results that you want in the dating sphere and you want to be married, you have to check how you talk to people, how you treat people, the energy you have. Normally it stems from childhood. Normally it stems from being an overachiever. It stems from being...
Really, the part that I felt like she was really spitting when she was talking about the ego and how the ego presents itself in reality as the thing. You know, like it's just so, like sometimes a girl don't even have to talk. She just exists in like pure ego. Like how she look, how much money she got, what she got, and that's cool. But the reality of life, you know, regardless of who you are, what you look like, how fine you is is that we need to understand, overstand, and understand who we are at the soul level. And the physical impulses can be so pervasive, even if you are not experiencing them. The desire to want to experience them creates a negative energy within yourself. Like, damn, I'm not doing this. I wish I was doing that. And that whole time, you could have been doing some spiritual work, some spiritual development work, man. But that's just how I view it, man. I felt like I had to finish my thought. So that's really like 4.5 hours, maybe like 4 hours, because it was that 30-minute weirdness that went on in the last video. Where I just felt like every year I feel like I gotta address glamour magic, because every year, without question, that is the thing that's moving the people, right? At a basic level. And if you just a normal person and you trying to like get a grip in your own life, you got to understand that the rituals that's being played is reference to the energy of the planet, and anybody can access the energy of the planet through rituals. So I say all of that to say, if the powers that be are doing rituals and thinking of ways and ritualistic manners, don't let they magic work on you. Just figure out a way for you to do some form of magic, right? When you do weird, different ritualistic things, what it does is that it puts you in the viewpoint of the energies and entities that circle around you, because everybody is just going to work, coming home, doing regular mundane shit. Spirits don't really see them, right? But when you start doing the ritual and things of that nature, you can begin to command and take control, because people know that you're on both sides of the spectrum, right? So as spiritual beings, we do have that ability through ritual, through meditation, through vision. And I like to like talk about some of the things that happen, some of the rituals that take place as a way to reverse it. You know, I notice like when things happen, like if me or the initiates, we talk about a specific subject, the whole landscape shifts. So before I went on a live yesterday, everybody was like, "Yay, Kendrick! He's on the Super Bowl." Then when I got off the live, everybody was like, Jay-Z a fuck nigga, Kendrick, Lil Wayne should be at the Super Bowl for New Orleans, not Kendrick. And they started putting the pieces together. And now people kind of revolting against it. So with all of that being said, I'll continue to look at what's happening in mainstream media and see if I can find a spiritual spin. But if not, study the charts, get into some metaphysics, get into some astrology. Still working on that Chiron, which is going to be my next article. Should have that done tomorrow, the day after. Go through Chiron, through the houses. But I want to go through every planet, through all of the houses, through all of the signs, which is an arduous task, but something that I've been needing to do for a while. Going to do it. But anyways, man, thank y'all for y'all astuteness and y'all engagement. If y'all haven't liked the video, be sure to like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm waiting for Blue Magic books. I hope they come today, tomorrow, soon. As soon as I get them, I'm shipping those bad boys out. WhiteRabbitPsych.com, the BOGO, 25% off either or, still available. It was a glitch on the website. I fixed that. So visit WhiteRabbitPsych.com. Any questions, email me, reach out, ColumbianExchange.com. BOGO on capsules as well. Readings still going up. HoodMystic.com if you want to schedule. And with all that being said, man, I hope y'all have a wonderful, wonderful day. This has been another daily energy reading. and I'm your host, the Hood Mystic, also known as Kyrie Anthony. Follow me on IG at the Hood Mystic. And if you learned anything or can donate, please do so at $ Hood Mystic 38. I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.
You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.